All right, I think that's working now. Am I coming in? Can folks hear me? Am I coming in at all? There we go. Am I coming in? I think I've got it working now. Hello everyone. Hello Crazy Star XB. Hello Elskimo. Thank you for joining us tonight. Lovely. I'm glad I can be heard. I got panicky there for a second because for like a good second I was like, wait a minute, why isn't my microphone working? And then I had to unplug my mouse, and now I've plugged it into where the mouse is, and now it's all playing together. So hey ho, we're here. We're doing things today. We're just having a chill stream tonight. I was gonna do the continuation of the Nuzlocke, but was I've been really busy with the grinding on it, so I was just wanting to like take a nice chill evening and hopefully get a little bit of doodling done. I gotta do a warm up first because like 10 minutes before I started the stream, my brain was all like, "Oh, I am suddenly art blocked," you and such. So we're just gonna warm up real quick before we actually get started with like the various OC shenanigans. And it's another. I picked another Sonic character for this warm up. I wanted to do Surge from the IDW comics because I've just been meaning to draw some of the IDW cast for a while, so we're just gonna start off there and just see where the evening takes us. But and of course, if anyone has any questions and whatnot they want to ask, feel free. I'm just gonna get on with things. Start off the best I can after that little technical whoopsie. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a lovely respective time zone. I hope your day's been going well. And I'll just get on with it. I went outside today. Hey, that's good. That's good. It's the small victories. You got to take those when you can. Take those small victories when you can. Pretty good. Just unload some groceries. Nice, nice. Celebrate the small victories because those we got to take the victories we can get when we can get them. They're rather sparing of late. Yeah, I've been doing all right. Just been a bit of a slow day. Been plodding on with the proof of concept a lot today. And that's about really all I've done. So I've been looking forward to just like having a nice, relaxing evening, just doodling. And I hope you guys enjoy some doodling yourselves. Maybe if you want to just use this as some background noise to just relax a little. I still need to find out a way to sort out music on this so I can have some background music on this, but I don't know if there's really. I still don't know like the specific musics that are okay to have on your stream. Plus, a lot of the playlists I could play for music, I don't have like YouTube or Spotify Premium, so I would get a lot of ads, which will be a pain to deal with. So yeah, we're just gonna just draw. And and if you decide to just join us for even if briefly, I hope you enjoy yourselves as we continue onwards. Been putting off learning how to use my drawing tablet because I'm so unused to it. My digital art is gone. I mean, it all comes with practice. I didn't start off very good either. I mean, I wish I had some of my examples. How was it adjusting to digital? Adjusting to digital when you first started? It's hard to really say because it's so long. Because I mostly started out on digital back in like the MS Paint days and whatnot. So hard to really say. But I guess just getting used to you got to get used to where your finger. I guess the thing is you got to get used to where your finger is because it's less easy to gauge on. Obviously, on like a tablet without a screen compared to where your hand is in real life and whatnot. I guess that's the big one I can sort of. That's the one I can say is like something to get used to, but I think that's an easy hurdle to kind of get across. I guess hopefully that answers your question. It's just all a matter of. It obviously takes time. You're not going to get it right immediately. Okay, good. I'm glad that At least semi answers the question. Make the head a bit smaller. That's how it always is. You always make the head too big to start off with, and then everything else is just... There we go. That'll do, I think. And she's got, like... Pull my reference back up again. There we go. She's got, like, fairly baggy pants, which I really like about her design. So just such a fun character from what I've read of the comics. I need to get back into them. I have like a backlog of the collection I need to read, but I have read the comic she debuts in, which is Imposter Syndrome. That's a really good comic. I need to catch up on the rest of it. Hello, Spear! Welcome for joining us on tonight. It's nice to see you here. Just warming up before I really get stuck into the OC stuff and whatnot. So we're just doing what I always do when I need to warm up. I go for the Sonic characters. You're at your locals. Oh, is that your Pokemon tournament? Good luck, mate. Hope you do well. Hey, maybe spread the word about... No, joking. Got destroyed by that, but for fun. That's good. I'm glad you're having a good time there. It's always nice to have a good time. Yeah, in case... If you don't... If folks obviously don't mind, if you don't mind, like, sharing the stream and whatnot on... the various places it's posted, like on Blue Sky and everything, because we are very close to our current goal of 75 followers, and I said that if we ever reach that role, I would play through Ocarina of Time for the first time. And then, I mean, if we reach that goal, that's also something I can actually draw tonight, which is I gotta work on the thumbnail for that at some point. But yeah, I'm just gonna start off nicely with some Sonic, because it's the thing I'm most known for at this point, outside of OCs, I think. Actually, that I kind of have to wonder, what am I most known for in regards to my art? Because I had a Fire Emblem phase, I had a Tails phase, I definitely had a Ruby phase, and boy howdy was that hell of a phase. Hello Spectrion, thank you for joining us. We're just starting off with a warm-up first and foremost. Lovely to have you as always. Let's actually get some tongue out, that's cool. As someone who knows your IRL, I know you Elementals and your Sonic art the most. Yeah, I like to think it's what I'm most known for these days. Because I haven't drawn Ruby in so long. That was like what I drew for like the longest time. That was easily like my longest like fandom experience in the art forms. And even then, back then, I used to always be nervous about posting my Sonic stuff. I used to be nervous about sharing my Sonic art because it was always that thing you got... Yeah, you know how it is with Sonic fans, we got bullied a lot. So I sort of became nervous about sharing it, and nowadays it's like one of my ultimate comfort things to draw. Even more so to the point that it's one of the things I would love to try and get a career in at some point, if I could. That's my biggest art goal, I think, is to get working in like the Sonic comics if I can, or just, I don't know, I want to work on something Sonic officially. Yay. Yeah, so working on something for Sonic officially would be really fun. Especially if they let me do like a Silver thing. I think that's the dream, is to get to work on something official for Silver. Because if I haven't made abundantly clear, he is my favorite. They can get me in just in time for when he's totally going to be in movie 4, right guys? Right? Okay, I'll put the copium away. Well, until then, I'm just happy working on my OC stuff. I think that's got to be my focus for now, especially with a lot more indie projects coming out now that are giving me a massive amount of inspiration, and also trying not to let my brain use that inspiration to go like, why haven't we done this yet? Why are we so terrible? But that's all for another time. I'd rather not unpack that. But I'm just here to chill. But speaking of indie animation, how many folks have seen that? Have seen I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl Just Yet by I think it's Kiana Mai. I think that's how I pronounce her name. That's the most like recent indie animation that's been sort of spinning in my brain because of how freaking good it is. It's just an animatic at this point, which has just been which is nice to see. It's nice to see a lot of some indie animation projects don't have to be like a fully completed animation, and just like a bare animatic that gets the point of the series across can see success. That's been really motivating. Almost makes you wonder if I should maybe do that with Elementus as it currently is, and just like have the animatic of the proof of concept out, and then I can just still work on the proof of concept in my spare time and whatnot. I think just having like the animatic out would actually just kind of alleviate a lot of the stress of like, I have to get this out, otherwise it was all for naught and such. But that's just something I've been thinking about a lot recently. Hey, if I get the animatic ready in time, I might do it as like a, hey, it's my birthday, here's your present from me, you get to watch the thing. I say this knowing I'm probably not going to be able to get that done in time, but hey ho. Sorry, that was a lot of words to say at once. I apologize if that was just a bit of like verbal diarrhea for most of y'all. And I'm just here to draw Le Funny Electric Tenrec for now. Just as a warm-up. I don't think I've ever asked, do you have any voices like voice claims for your OCs? Some of them it like changes daily. I do have like a list of them. I do have like a list of them, and it's like the ultimate dream, like if I had like infinite budget to make Elementus, these are the people I would hire for it. Julance is Robbie Damon from who plays obviously like Saray in Tales of Systeria and Chai in Hi-Fi Rush, because I just think he does the sweet innocent fella who just wants to help out really really well as can go completely unhinged for those more engaging and character driven moments. I think I don't know how to pronounce her surname, but I think the one I always think of for Topal is Casey Mongolo. I'm probably absolutely butchering that pronunciation. They voice Chilchuck in Delicious in Dungeon, and it's just the right amount of androgynous that I think just really works well for Topal if I ever got the chance to. Hello Mira, thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a lovely, pleasant time zone. It's nice to see you. But yeah, I do a lot of thinking about like voice claims for characters. I always feel guilty about doing it because it's always like that, it's never going to happen, and I don't want to bother obviously these VAs with like a approach to it. I'm not too familiar with Dungeon Meshi's English dub. That's how I watched it, and I honestly really liked its dub. Yeah, I typically don't really have a preference how I watch anime. I usually just like whatever I see first of it I watch. Whatever I see the show in first I watch, because it's just that is what my brain is used to those characters sounding like, so that's what I go with. We were watching the Ghibli movies in English. That's where I got my start. I got my start watching Ghibli movies, and that's why I'm more used to watching those in English, because those are how they first see those most of the time. I'm very behind on Miss Bean. Honestly, same. I only just started watching Frieren, like, which is the one of the animes that was so very hotly discussed last year. I'm only just now starting to watch it because it's on Netflix. Hey Michael, hello Snow! Thank you for joining us. Have yourself a lovely respective time zone. Haven't watched any anime for years. That was basically me until like I think last week where I finally watched it was the recent reboot for Ranma, and I really like that series, even if a lot of the old anime tropes really sort of irked me after a while. But that's a conversation to have for another time. I'm just here to draw. I was just trying to keep up with the manga. There are times I really think I need to start reading manga again, especially now that I've obviously watched what I can of shows like Ranma, and I picked up the first volume of the manga for Delicious in Dungeon. I haven't got around to reading it yet. I'm absolutely terrible at reading, and it's something I need to get back into a lot at some point. Especially since I start collecting comic books again, with like obviously the Sonic IDW comics, and Miss Marvel is another one I've become rather fond of. Let me just save that real quick for now. Showed an interest in Spy Family. That's another one I need to start watching because I watched a little bit of season 1 and absolutely loved it. That's another one I need to watch at some point. Hello, Pixel Cacti. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm starting off with a warm up surge because I've had an immense craving of late to draw some of the IDW cast. Because for some reason it's one of those like areas of the franchise I've never really drawn much for, which is weird considering my love for characters like Tangle and of course Surge. I think they're both really cool, and I hope they both get into Crossworlds. If Crossworlds gets any IDW DLC and such, which it totally should. There's no reason not for them to do that, I feel. I won't be on for long when this is nice, but this is nice. Thank you for at least joining us, if briefly. Really appreciate you sticking around. It's nice to have folks who show up a lot more frequently. It's nice to have folks who frequent the streams, because it's nice having some familiar faces to talk to. As for me, ooh, doing some Legends ZA mirror, fan art mirror, nice. Can't wait to see it when it's done. I'm sure it's gonna be really cool. I guess that's one thing to talk about. It's like since last stream we've had our Legends ZA reveal, and man, did what I say in the Nuzlocke stream on. Man, a lot of what I said in that Nuzlocke stream aged like cheese, or like milk or something. Just it didn't age very well, is all I'll say, because I didn't get much of the things I thought I ended up saying. And I got Legends ZA, and I'm very excited for that, especially since we got Chikorita as a starter, and I can finally... My baby's getting the respect that she deserves for a change. Apparently Heracross was there. Yep, it's a 10 out of 10 game. I will need to find Heracross in the trailer, but yep, 10 out of 10. Well, I mean, it's got the Mega Evolution, so I assume that Mega Heracross is going to be as well. I think the safe bets for what are going to be in Legends are all the Kalos Pokemon, anything that had a Mega Evolution, and then anything after that I think is going to be stuff that gets like new forms and such. Cerebi has a list of available Pokemon. I'll need to check that out then. I'll have to go looking for it in the trailer because I didn't see it. I'm looking able to be able to catch fainted Pokemon. That is going to be interesting. I'm guessing it'll be like a last second sort of saving mechanic. It would be like a last ditch effort mechanic to have like one last chance of catching it, which is either going to be really nice or an absolute pain in the bum when you're trying to catch a shiny, it kills itself with like a double edge or something, and then in the last ditch effort to catch it, the ball fails and then it dies. I wonder if we catch other starter Pokemon like we can in Legends Arceus. I imagine that the Kalos starters are gonna be available in the wild because that's how it was with Legends Arceus. And then like Legends Arceus, you get the other two starters at the during the post game, so you can fill out your Pokedex. I do believe. Yeah, they made it much easier to get like the other starters that you don't start with. I'm just very curious about what the story is going to be like since it's all set in the future and whatnot. Because I was expecting at least some form of like some kind of like travel to the past and figure out how Lumio City began so that you can then help and make it a better city in the future and such. That was what I was thinking it was going to be like. My only thing I'm super worried about with Legends ZA is like the variety in the world, because Legends Arceus was all like based in like early Sinnoh. You had like the beaches, you had the swampy areas, you had the icy areas with Snow Point. I just worry if it's all going to be set in Lumio City, that's not going to leave much for like the diversity of the world. And so I just wonder how they're going to sort of get around that. I wonder if there'll be stuff like there's an underground area in Kalos that has more biomes or something around it. Either that or it could just end up being like a bloomin'... I think structurally, my brain immediately went to like, oh, it's all set in one city and there's a bunch of side things. It's going to be like the Yakuza games where it's like it's all based in one city and there's a bunch of like side missions and whatnot that have you going all about the city and meeting the different townsfolk. So it's gonna, at the very least, it's gonna have like a lot of things to do within the city. I just hope there's some form of like variety in the biomes and such. That's my biggest worry at the minute with that game. Worries that it do extend a little bit over to the other game they showed that presents, which is that Pokemon Champions, which is like an official Pokemon Showdown alternative, which I'm very happy for. It's nice to have sort of like a dedicated battle sim again, like we used to have in like the N64 and Wii days. I just worry about the amount of content it's coming to it because of it also being like an iPhone game. That was what I was. That's what a lot of the speculation I've been seeing is like because Champions is like a full on battle sim and the VGC will move to it. It means they won't have to balance the newer Pokemon games around like the competitive aspect to it, and so they can focus more on like just having a bunch of new mons and bigger stories. That's the thing I'm very excited about. It's like less so for Champions as a game itself and more just though what it means for Pokemon in its entirety and how it will potentially change how the games will come out. I know I've been babbling on for that for quite a while. Oh, I forgot to. Yeah, especially in a case where like the game, the competitive scene is always based around the newest game's gimmick, and now you have a game where you can like balance, where you have like all the different gimmicks, and then like for one season you can have this gimmick, and one season you can have the next. It adds a lot more of like competitive variety to Pokemon, which I'm very curious about because nowadays it's all just here's the 6 safe Pokemon, that's it, and that's what really irked me and made me kind of bored about the concept of. That's what made me bored about potentially getting into competitive Pokemon. It always just seemed like the same five Pokemon every single time. Especially in some cases where you get stuff like Incineroar and Zacian, who are just like extremely overpowered in the games they came from. And of course, the competitive community regularly complain about the games in ways that don't apply to the actual games. Yeah, that's also that. I think it shows a shift. I think it just shows overall a good shift in how the games will be treated now. Whereas, like, we'll have champions as like an app that will stand alone for potentially forever and just get updated with each new game and gimmick as they come, and then you can have just the mainline games just being their own thing, and then since they're not limited to having to be competitively viable, you can just have more out there unique stories and Pokemon and such. It's going to be incredibly interesting to see what happens when those games come out, and I'm rather excited. It'll be nice to have a game that also just like streamlines competitive Pokemon, just to hopefully make it a bit easier to get into for some folks, because I know for some like myself there has been a bit of a barrier of entry, because you have to know, like, okay, you need these specific IVs, you need these 4 specific moves. How do you get those moves? I don't freaking know. Yeah, I'm just excited about the future, and it feels weird to be saying that after so many times of being like really pessimistic about the fandom, being really pessimistic about Pokemon. It's nice to have intrigue in the future rather than just, yep, it's another Pokemon game this year. Great. It'll be interesting to see where all this goes. And that went a lot long. That conversation went a lot longer than I was thinking it. Well, granted, so is this. This is going on a fair bit longer than I would originally meant for it to, but hey ho. That's what happens. You get drawn and you get stuck in the groove. I haven't actually been reading chat. Let me actually. Tepic love. Yeah, it's nice to see. It's nice to see the lesser beloved starters get some time in the limelight again, because obviously Cyndaquil kind of. I will say it is weird that we get 2 Johto starters rather than like another less loved starter for the water types. Because I feel Poplio would have fit really well for that, because I don't think a lot of folks out there like Poplio that much. Or Poplio is at least seen as one of those like, it's kind of their starters. That and Sobble, I guess, yeah. Poplio or Sobble, yeah. Because then you have like 3 overlooked shinies that have a chance at being something new and interesting for a lot of folks. I'm really excited for what they're gonna do with Chikorita and Meganium, because I think I pointed this out on Blue Sky in the trailer that Chikorita has fairy type moves, and so we could potentially be seeing like a fairy type Meganium, which is like a dream come true, because I really want to see. I've wanted a grass fairy type starter ever since like the fairy type got introduced. It makes me curious what other types that the other 2 are gonna be. Yeah, Poplio at first was my favorite of the Gen 7 starters, and then then obviously the usual grass type starter bias came in, and I ended up being Team Rowlet, because I just really like Rowlet's design. Mm-hmm. I'm sticking with Chikorita for nostalgia. Same. I'm picking Chikorita. It's so nice to see Chikorita finally get a chance to be something cool after being like the butt of everyone's jokes for years. And hopefully it's whatever comes for it is good. Maybe do a second fight with Totodile. My second playthrough is probably gonna be with Tepic, because Tepic is one of those starter Pokemons I've always wanted to like, but just kind of was not impressed with how Pignite and Emboar look. Especially Pignite, because that is one of my least favorite Pokemon designs ever, if I'm being brutally honest. Yeah, Tepig is cute. I really liked Tepig when like they first all got announced and whatnot, but I did not like. I didn't like Tepig, like Pig Knight and Embor at all when the game first came out. I thought they looked really really weird, especially Pig Knight. I'm probably putting way more effort into this warm-up than I probably should, but hey ho, that's just what we do here. Michael spends way too long on a warm-up, more at 11. I still need to start PLA. You should. PLA is like the best Pokemon game on the Switch, in my personal opinion. Oh, just have like a full team of like chompy boys. Because Totodile, you can pick Totodile, and then you can. There's also Sandile in the game as well, and I guess with Mega Garchomp they'll also have Gible, so you can just have a whole team of bitey boys. Honestly, Legends Arceus is probably going to be one of the games I end up replaying for stream because that game is just fantastic. Dang it, Mira, unplayed games attract sharks. Well, boy howdy, have you found a person who attracts the most sharks out of anyone? Because my backlog is ridiculous, and it only gets worse every time my brain is like, hey, we should impulse buy an indie game. And that's just what we do. We buy... I feel like 90% of my backlog is just like indie games that I have bought out of impulse and then only played like for an hour. Because that's happened with Anton Blast, Pizza Tower, freaking In Stars in Time. It's a bad habit that I need to kick at some point because it's not good on the wallet. Hey, maybe that's something I should do for streaming. I should play just a bunch of indie games. That'd be fun, actually, yeah. We're definitely gonna need to fill the time while we wait for hopefully the follower goal to be met, and then we can play Ocarina of Time. I think the best thing to look into like the indie scene is to just check out the Steam Next Fest, because that's what I've been looking at a lot of, and I've got a bunch of demos for it that I need to check out, like Demon Tides. Demon Tides is one I've been hearing a lot of people making a fuss about because that game looks really fun. Alright, I think Jumping Jazz Chance. I'll have to give that one a look because that one does. I think I've seen that one before. That one sounds fun. I think we're just about done with our warm up here. Let me just add the little thing to. There we go. Yeah, that looks awesome actually. Okay, enough of that. This is meant to be an OC drawing stream, so how it's about time we draw some OCs, I do believe. I'll post that to Blue Sky a little later or something, probably. Actually, you know, before we end it, we'll give the Limited Metals, I'll give them like a little sheen. Insert the character from Jimmy Neutron here, because I said sheen. Hang on, the back of her shoes are white, the area is touching her heat. Oh yeah, they are, right, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be a fake Sonic fan. Right, thank you for that, thank you for pointing that out. I was almost a fake Sonic fan on main. Can't be having that. All jokes here, all jokes here. Oh, yeah, got that one too as well. Oh, there might just be a foot there, what I'm seeing. Alright, that'll do, I think. I don't want to go too overboard, otherwise this will be the stream again. Like the silver warm-up I did. If Glalie can get a Mega. I want a Mega Frostlass. Yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing what new Mega evolutions they add, if any. Like, I wonder if they'll make Mega Greninja as a way to, like, right, here's, you can have your Ash Greninja back. This is what you wanted, right? There we go. I think that's a good stopping point before I somehow manage to screw this up. He says, adding more details. I am terrible as I need to be stopped. That'll do it, Tank. Alright. Alright, that's it. That's it. We're done. We're done with you, Surge. Nice to draw you again, but also, that's it. Oh, so there is. Thank you. See, this is why I stream my art, because I will just completely miss stuff like that all the goddamn time. So thank you for that. Okay, we're done. Surge is done. We're not doing any more. That's getting posted later. No more Surge. It's time for the actual thing people are here to see me draw. One sec, everyone. One sec. All right. Just gotta set up a new one. Oh, dang it. Put it on my reference window. There we go. Alright. Alright, folks, do we have any particular favorite OCs we want to see drawn? I was kind of just gonna... Didn't really have a plan of who I was gonna draw. That's why I started off with the Surge. Let's see. Who do I have in my reference? You know what? I'm craving Amelia. No, we kind of did try and draw her last year. I'm going to try Jade. I've not drawn Jade in forever, so I'm going to start with her, I think. Don't really have an idea for a pose. Oh, you can see that. Lamau, the layer name, spins them in my brain too. Yep. Probably just going to be simple sketches and maybe line art, depending how we go. Just here to vibe. Don't really have any plans for the rest of this. Just going to doodle and vibe, hopefully with some entertaining results and chat. Hope again everyone is having a lovely respective time zone. And if anyone has any questions about the OCs and whatnot, feel free to list them down below and I'll talk about them, I guess. I guess that's one of the main reasons I would want to doodle and chat about the OCs. I'm just going to have her drinking some tea, I think, for now. Till my brain thinks of better poses. I don't know if it's ever been asked what inspired you to create Elementus. I think it was mostly Ruby. I just remember seeing. I mean, I've always wanted to like create a story and whatnot, but it wasn't until like watching Ruby for the first time I was like, this was made by like a small company. I can totally do this. Let me just make this whole thing by myself. And that was one of the biggest regrets of my life. But hey ho, I have OCs and a following now because of it, so can't really super complain about that, can we? Okay, that's a really pessimistic way of saying it. Solo anything is a pain, absolutely. Obviously, I always kind of started with I liked creating stories and characters in sort of like my college era. That was where like the passion for it started really bubbling up, and that's when I ended up going to uni. And uni is where like it really sort of kicked off, is just because like uni is around the time I started getting into Ruby and diving more into animation and learning more about obviously the indie animation side of things, because I think that was just about taking off. That was like just starting to take off by the time I was starting uni with stuff like Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. I think it was around that time, actually, yeah. And obviously where it is now, like, I graduated into basically the entire the entire animation industry being on fire, which was less than great for my motivation to continue on, but then I went and did a master's and basically the exact same thing happened, so that was when the sort of the indie animation scene started like popping off a lot more, so I thought, hey, there's a community for this, I might as well try and, I don't know, at least put myself forward in it, try and make something out of this idea that I've had for a while now, and that's where we currently are at now. And who's to say what the future holds? Originally it was going to be a comic after I finished uni. Or like it was going to be a comic before I started uni, and then I kind of flip flopped between like it's going to be animation, it's going to be comics, it's going to be animation, it's going to be comics, and to now it's the point where like neither side has really been worked on outside of the proof of concept. So it's kind of just like we'll see where the audience lies after the proof of concept comes out. And well, that's going great. But no, I've been getting a lot more motivated to continue on with it with, like I said earlier, a lot of the newer indie animation stuff that's been coming out recently. Like I talked briefly about frickin' I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl, which was a really polished and fun idea even in just an animatic form, which kind of proved to me like, oh, you don't need like everything to be animated in order to get people to like your stuff. You just need a good deal of passion for it. And it's really funny stuff too, especially like the only like fully animated scene in that entire thing is just the main character Aika taking a lead pipe to the villain's kneecaps, and it's so good. It's one of the funniest indie animated pilots I've seen so far, and it's got me really excited to, I don't know, just work on my own now. Like I don't have that fear of like it has to be perfectly animated or anything to be good. It just needs to have the things people look for in indie animation, which is just like fun. If you have the passion for what you are wanting to do, then that will come across in your project and will resonate with your audience. Also, the fact that the obligatory transformation sequence is when she goes back to a civilian. But I loved that gag. That was real. That was one of my favorite parts again. It's such a good gag to do with that. Yeah, just make it exist first, and then the fun can come later when people are like, hey, I like your product, I want to help make it, or at least help fund make it and such, which I'll probably need to start looking into soon. I definitely do need to start thinking about like, hey, is there enough of a future to actually fund this, or am I funding it by myself? Because I mean, if I took it to a studio, they'd probably laugh in my face and throw it out the trash, because who wants a show about frickin'... Speaking of funding, money. Oh, thank you for the monies. It's greatly appreciated. I appreciate your money emojis. It's very much appreciated. I need to learn. I need to start setting up a coffee at some point, because I've been meaning to set up like the monetization stuff with the Twitch affiliates, but haven't got around to like doing the paperwork and such for it, because it's a bit of a faff and I don't know how to do it, so I've kind of just been putting it off. So I've been thinking of like, what if I did like outside of the Twitch affiliate funding, like if I did stuff with a coffee or dare I say a Patreon, but I don't know how well a Patreon would work. I don't really know many like creators in the UK who use Patreon, so it's hard to say. I might stick with coffee because I did do some. I did use the service back when I was in uni for like some small commissions. Also, power of friendship and neurodivergent. Exactly. That's one of the things I always wanted to do with Elementis, is to have some kind of like neurodivergent rep, because I think I've said before that Julan is autistic and Amber has ADHD, and that's something I kind of want to sort of be at the forefront. Because a lot of indie animation is just wanting to make the cartoon you wanted as a kid. And that's a lot of what Elementis is. It's like the stories of friendship and learning to love yourself that you wish you had as a kid, but now with the wisdom that being an older person has granted you about how to go about it and such. I did not know about ADHD, Amber, but I love it so much. Yep. We learn things on these streams that I'm absolutely terrible at actually remembering to say out and such. Oh, sure. Go ahead, info dump. I like hearing about other people's OCs just as much as I like to hope other people like hearing about mine. So go ahead. Feel free to info dump. It's always fun to hear people talk about their stuff. Perspective is fun. I think that looks alright. I think that looks alright. So just can't communicate, but because she's too shy. Oh, that's a mood. That's a mood right there. I love being introverted and also autistic. It's great. And again, if anyone else has any more questions for Elementus and such, feel free to shoot them away. I'm actually been nice talking about this stuff because I spend so long like keeping. I keep stum about a lot of details because like, what if I actually get to tell the story and I spoil it? But I mean, I'll be lucky to have much past performance. Hello, Ree! Thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a lovely respective time zone. We're just doodling tonight. Oh no, I know what's coming. I've realized what's coming after because he only ever goes Michael like that when he's about to ask me something silly. You gotta go. Okay, Pixel Cacti, thank you very much for joining us. It's been lovely having you. What's my favorite shape of toast? I don't know. I'm fairly normal with rectangles. Yeah, they absolutely are. That is absolutely just your average autistic friend group mirror. Very, very good on your friend for picking up on that. I guess that's also sort of true for like the Elementus group as well. Every group of the Elementus crew has some sort of like thing I have struggled with. At some point or another. I will not say which though. That would be telling. Yeah, I think I've seen that piece of yours, Mirror. It's very nice. I really like that one. Can't afford ferry, make her. Can't afford therapy, make her season project all your issues onto them. Yeah. I mean, they'll figure out a way through it eventually, so boom. That's the cure for your therapy. Boom. Let the let the OC story take care of the therapy. Although I think actively make telling like an OC story is probably much more expensive in the long term than therapy, so hard to say if that's actually worthwhile or not. Who knows? It's one of those things. One of those things. Hope you're well, by the way. Won't be here long, but I thought I'd drop to get you more views before Alan G. Rhythm Heaven. Thank you very much, Rhea. I really appreciate you stopping by, even if briefly. It's been nice to have like a regular crowd, even though a part of me wishes obviously we were bigger, like more seen by folks. But I mean that's just kind of story of my life, and it's not worth getting all up in the tizzy about anymore. I'm just happy to have some folks around that do like my stuff, and so that's all I can really ask for at this point. I mean, look at Jade; she's happy just as she is. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kaito. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a lovely respective time zone. Good to see you, my friend. How is your evening going? You have joined us in the middle of drawing a Jed. Yeah, she's just sitting. She's got her tea. She's just vibing with life. That's been the thing I like. That's always been the thing I always wanted to get across with Jade. She's just like everyone's chill mum. Whether they want her to be or not, she will be their chill mom. And that is almost entirely her dynamic with Topal. Been playing Rebirth pretty much all day. Oh, I hope you've been enjoying yourselves. I want to play Rebirth at some point, but at the moment it either requires buying a PS4, no, a PS5, or an extremely powerful PC, and I'm in the financial position for neither of those right now. Eventually, one day, hopefully. Or by the time I do have enough money for it, it comes to Switch too, which is, I mean, hey, that works better for me. Oop. Man, I wish there was a PS4 version. A lot of people here I see. Yeah, it's nice. Nice to have a lot of folks. We're just chilling out, relaxing all cool, and doing some mom friend outside of the school. You can continue that song as you wish. As you're playing Moon and doing a dark monotype run. Ooh! A monotype run is just like where you only use a Pokemon of like a certain type, right? That might be a fun. That might be something to think about later. At some, if I'm fancying of a challenge Pokemon run, because I have been really craving doing another challenge run of Pokemon again post Nuzlocke. Because doing the Nuzlocke run has been a lot of fun, if incredibly stressful after losing one of our best. But I mean, hey, potentially next stream it's all going to come to a close, so I've got to think of what kind of challenge run I want to do next. I think I did pitch to you the idea of doing like a Soul Link, where it's like two people. It's like a co-op Pokemon Nuzlocke, where like you're playing with a friend, you both encounter a new Pokemon at the same time, and if the Pokemon dies, then both of them die. So let me stream guests, and I'm always down for stream guests. Yeah. Well, first I gotta find a friend who would be willing to stream with me. So one day. Would be nice to do. I really like the idea behind it. I remember watching I guess Jaden and Alpharad's video on it ages ago. It's one of my favorite ones of her videos to pop on and off again. Ah, yes, the dang frost last year. I swear that's the only new dark types in Gen 7 are Guzzlord and Incineroar, not counting Alolan forms. Yeah. I mean, it's still a healthy amount of dark type choice, I think. There's Umbreon and. I can't really think of any right now, but they'll come to me. They'll come to me. Eventually. That Lance battle was a disaster in that video, yeah. Another Nuzlocke stream is definitely on the cards because I've really enjoyed this one. It would be nice to try it again with a different game. Especially because, like, one of the problems I've had with the Nuzlocke we've been doing is that it's been really easy. Like, we've still only had, like, one death, and we're almost at Cynthia. So, I mean, either Cynthia is going to curb stomp us, or we'll have managed to get through all of Gen 4 with only losing B-Barrel, which, I mean, the worst loss we could have had. But, I mean, would have been nice to have a bit more stakes going into the finale, hopefully next week. And also next week on the Sunday stream, we're going to be playing some Turtles in Time live on stream. I'm probably going to be playing the SNES version of that because I think the SNES version is just the better version overall. Because the Super Nintendo version has like a couple extra levels and boss fights. Yeah, it's such a weird difficulty spike for Diamond Pearls. Like, the gyms are like in their end at the late 40s, and then the Elite Four all the way jumps up to the mid 50s, which is why I'm doing grinding now, so that I can avoid, hopefully, losing someone who's very precious. Especially since I've been raising up our Lucario that we got from Riley. I've been raising that up to sort of take the place of Pants should something happen to them. Just as a precaution for now, you never know. I'd like to hope our team that we have at the minute can stick with us till the end, but it's nice to have some backup Pokemon just in case something happens. You got a dash now. Okay, Reef. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for helping us with the algae rhythm. And I think that just about does it for... Oh, one more thing. One more thing! Yay! We drew a Jade. I've been meaning to draw her again for ages. It's nice to finally draw Jade again. Now to add like this little extra snippets. Yeah, Platinum cleans up the difficulty spike a lot, and I think that's another reason why I think Platinum is still the best Pokemon game overall. It's still difficult, but it's not like an incredibly cheap difficulty spike like it is in Diamond Pearl. Reasons I never completed Yellow as a kid. Elite Four difficulty spike. That's another one that's like really big, I think. Got bored of level grinding yet. And difficulty spike is lower than Fire Red Leaf Green. That's the one I'm looking for to do for a Nuzlocke next, because that's the one I've got recommended a lot when I ask, like, hey, what's a good Nuzlocke? So I definitely think a Fire Red Nuzlocke is on the cards for at some point. I think that makes our dear Jade just about done. Yes. Oh, very nice. Very nice. It's nice to draw her again. That was fun. That was nice. I think I've got about one more or so in me before we call it a stream, I think. Do we have any specific requests we want to see of someone? Yeah, it's a fairly easy trick. You just go on the effects on layer properties, you add a border, and then you can make it like any color you want. Quarrel, borrowing your suggestion from last time, of course. Everyone loves the bun, so can't complain with that at all. And I mean, Quarrel's easy to draw, because I practically drawn Quarrel every single day for the proof of concept. Let me just save real quick. Right. Yeah, that's why I started doing it, because it gives it like that sort of like old cartoon thick line art sort of vibe. I really like it. Alright, now I just need an idea for a Quarrel Doodle. You know, I think I've got one. I got one that's a bit silly. Got a nice silly idea for a sweet silly bun. And I mean, this one can maybe even end up like an emote or something on our friend server and such. People should soon start seeing the idea behind it. Bonui. It's everyone's favorite of my OCs, from what I've been seen and told. But yeah, if anyone has any more questions and such they want to ask, feel free. I'm always happy to yap. Or if anyone has anything else they potentially want to know about OC stuff, I'm happy to answer what I can. Crap, I've run out of things to yap about. Uh-oh. This is oopsies. I've already exhausted my free talking points I always use on streams. Pokemon, Sonic, and OCs. I've used them all up. How about that local sports team, I guess? I don't really know my local sports team. I don't sports. Mega Man, yeah, that works. Yeah, because I've finished up the Wily Wars a while back, and I've been really wanting to. Been really meaning to like. At first, it started as just like finishing that, but then my brain was like, I kind of want to do just like finish off the classic series, because there's only a couple I haven't finished yet. Now there's only 4, 5, 7, and 9 at this point that I haven't finished of the classic series. Fun fact: I've never played a Mega Man game. I think it's sort of like an acquired taste, because it's very much old school retro, and it's like I want to say it's almost its peak, but that's also like, you could also argue that's Castlevania. It's funny because the game of my entire Magic was technically Mega Man inspired. I've also got the Game Boy games to do as well. You think I would have done those ages ago because they came up on the NSO. I might do those next actually, just because that's a area of Mega Man I've actually never played at all, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, I was highly debating for my next art stream. I was gonna do like, chat suggests like an element or an inanimate object, and I have to try and design like a Mega Man boss art around it. I thought that would make for a really fun idea. I don't know how into that anyone else is, but I thought it would make a really funny idea for a stream. So I might take some suggestions for that. That'd be cool. Hello, Eric Kiley. Thank you for joining us. Nice to see you pop in. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well in your respective time zone. We're just doodling OCs and now yapping about Mega Man. For how long? I have no idea. How long, and for as long as I can think of things to say about it. But hey, maybe I could try at least one Mega Man game. I recommend getting the Legacy collections if you can, because they always go for like super cheap on sale. And Mega Man 11 was a thing. Wait, how long ago was it? I think that was like 2019. I think 2018, 2019, and then they just decided no more after that. We'll give Mega Man like a show, like an episode in that Amazon series, but nothing after that. No games. Which is bonkers to me, because, well, yeah, what is the flow of time? Exactly. We've been hit with Flashman's Time Stopper, and now everything is just both going too fast and going too slow. Mega Man might actually make for a fun game I do on stream one night. It's like a one-off stream game, but it's also the kind of game like I'm absolutely terrible at it, and I'm not super confident about people seeing me play, because I use a lot of like the things like NSO and the Legacy collections add, like the rewind feature, and I think Legacy Collection 2 has like an extra armor system, so you can play the games a bit easier with extra health and defense and such. I would like to do it though. I would like to. Maybe I'll do it for Mega Man 7, because Mega Man 7 is like the one I've really wanted to play for ages now. So I think that might make for a fun stream game. And watching me be terrible at video games is always fun. People like it when the streamer get mad at the video game. It was like a month or two before Ultimate. I think it might have been, yeah. It was definitely around that time frame. It was like an anniversary game, I think. 4 has the cool element. 7 has the cool element of being the first not NES game in the Midline series. Yeah, that was always the thing that intrigued me about it, and it's what I liked about. It's one of the things I really liked about Mega Man 8 when I played it. It's just like how detailed and cartoony it was compared to the old NES games. It's so weird I haven't actually done that. Haven't beaten 7 yet, despite having a lot of stuff I like about Mega Man, plus the extra added additions of being like a Super Nintendo game and looking really pretty. Gotta go, thanks for the stream. Thank you for joining us, Spirit. It's been lovely having you. Thank you for joining us. See you soon, hopefully. yeah, Mega Man is definitely a stream game in the cards for the future. I think before I think of any other games I want to stream, we got to beat our follower goal. Hopefully, I remember liking Mega Man X a lot, but by X4 I was kind of. That's kind of where the series starts to falter for a lot of people, from what I hear. Like X4 is really good, X5 is really divisive, and X6 and 7 are terrible. Can speak from experience on that. I marathoned most of the X series, and like I think it was like the week before Scarlet and Violet came out, and I just like marathoned all those games. And it was just like I loved Mega Man 4. Mega Man X4 was probably my favorite Mega Man game there is. And then X5 is just kind of okay, has some elements I don't like about it, but is overall really good. X6 is just like you don't want to play that game unless you're using like cheat codes or the Rookie Hunter mode in the Legacy Collection. And then X7 is just actually terrible. It feels way too samey by the end of X4 for me, which is weird because I played all the numbered classic ones. Apparently X8 is at least a fair bit better than the two games before. Yeah, that X8 is one I need to finish at some point, but I think before I do that, I need to go back and finish X1, X2, and X3 for the first time. Because the ones that people always say are the best ones are the ones I've never finished. Also, did they ever explain why Zero was like, he hid himself so he could repair himself, clearly? It says it right there in the game. And also, yeah, the fan base. He has a fan base. Yeah, half the Mega Man X series is just putting Zero back together again after he dies every single game. Because like he dies in X1, and part of X2 is putting him back together again. Then he dies at the end of. Oh, sorry, spoilers for like a over 20-year-old game, but Zero then dies at the end of X5 and then comes back because he hit himself so he could repair himself for X6. And then I think, well, technically it's at the end of X6 because it was meant to be like the finale of it all, but then X7 comes out where like at the end of X6 he says like I'm too dangerous for this world. I need to be locked away until the virus inside me is gone. No, don't spoil it. I was gonna play it today. Were you though? And then like obviously Zero at the end of X6 is like I need to be locked away so that this virus can be finally freed from me. And then he gets woken up in the Zero series. I need to play the Zero series at some point. It's another one of those like I bought the Legacy Collection because I am very much a Mega Man fan, and I basically have all the Legacy Collections they've released aside from the Battle Network one, because Battle Network is the series I think is going to take a bit of growing for me to play, because it's all RPGs rather than 2D platformers. And RPGs are scary and take a lot of time, and I don't have a lot of time. All I know about Mega Man is that the music slaps. It so does. Like I genuinely think Mega Man 3 is one of my favorite video game soundtracks. It's so dang good. I seem to have a lot of those franchises. Like the main character is blue. The franchise has a rocky history. The music kicks ass. And that's about it. And has been declared dead multiple times. I seem to have that sort of. I seem to find a lot of those franchises. We love blue main characters. That we do. That is half the reason why Julian is blue. Nice. No, 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 don't like that. And freckles, her little nose. I actually don't like how this bottom teeth look. Oh, that actually so cute. Now it's gonna do her floofy, the rest of her floofy. There we go. Boom. She's perfect. Blue carrot energy is 100% real. It's like orange cat energy. There's no science behind it, but it's true. You're so right. You're so right. I don't know anything about the Mega Man series. I just know his name because I played Smash Flash 2 as a kid, then Smash Wii U, and then I'll go with Smash All. Oh god, Smash Flash. That brings back a lot of memories. I remember when the demos for that game were starting to come out. I think that was how I was introduced to Tales of Symphonia because Lloyd's in that game. And man, look how that turned out. That's now one of my favorite video game series. It's true what they say. Smash really is just like the beginning of a lot of my favorite things. Aside from like Sonic and Rayman for some reason, that's weird. Those are like the only two I can think of that I actually... Well, Mega Man as well. Those are the only series I can really think of that I got into before Smash. I was aware of Smash. I guess Pokemon as well, to an extent. Me with Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. Yeah. That's how I introduced to those as well. God, I need a new Rayman game. I hope Ubisoft is actually doing something for the 30th anniversary aside from going bankrupt. Oh, that feels mean to say. That feels very mean to say. There we go. Now to just color the bun. I saw Shulk's four render said that guy has very funny, fluffy hair, and immediately looked for a Let's Play. Was that Let's Play Chugger perchance? Because I imagine that guy is how like 90% of the Xenoblade fandom became the Xenoblade fandom. For better and worse. For better and worse. No, I think this was... No, I think like because Chugger had that sort of effect where he would play a Xenoblade game and then something Xenoblade would happen. Like he was playing Xenoblade 1 and then Shulk came to Smash. He played Xenoblade 2 and then Pyra and Mythra came to Smash. And then he did like the extra story in the extra content that came with Xenoblade Definitive Edition, and then Xenoblade X got announced. So he just kind of had like a magic touch with the Xenoblade series, and that was always really funny to see. I always vibed with Shulk's design enough so that he visually inspired one of my OCs. Who do you think was the inspiration for Amber's redesign? Like 90% of Amber's redesign is like future connected Shulk. A lot of that comes from future connected Shulk. I think a lot of Amber actually comes from Shulk now that I think about it. I got into Fire Emblem through Smash 4, all because of the Robin and Lucina trailer. Yep. Huh, so basically the same. I must have missed a conversation. Oh yeah, when Penny was playing Metroid Prime, and then the remaster got announced. Yeah. I had an idea for a while called "What if I drew my OCs in the outfits of their primary inspirations?" That's always been tempting to me, but considering Julian's a Sonic, I can't exactly just draw him naked. I guess I could paint him blue and gave him like the scarf that Boom Sonic has, or maybe just I don't know, use a different character. I'm sure there's more characters that have inspired Julan that I could pull from. There's like Jude from Tales of Exilia, Miss Marvel, freaking Natsu from Fairy Tail. That's another one I could pull from. Ooh, that would actually be really good. Put him in like a Sonic onesie, yeah. I should give him like that Halloween costume that was being made of ugly Sonic before the redesign of the movie. That would be funny. And then for Amber, we'd go Shulk. For Quarrel, we'd go. I want to say either Haru from Persona 5 or Nora from Ruby. The Miku Sonic hoodie. That's another idea. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, good shoot. I might have to save this idea for another stream because that is a really fun idea to do. That's definitely going in the I need those ideas for stream bucket. And then Topaz, I could do like Zhao from Genshin Impact. I think that would be a fun outfit for him to be in. Plus, it's an easy excuse to draw Chris in as Kiryu Kazuma. That's another series I need to stream at some point. I need to stream Yakuza, like either just a replay of like replay zero, or maybe stream myself playing the Like a Dragon games for the first time. That'd be fun. Or Judgment. There's also Judgment. I guess I need to start Judgment. That eye is slightly bigger than the other. Judgment is epic. Yeah, I've heard, and I think that freaking Sonic the Fighters is available to play in Lost Judgment. I think it is. Yeah, that's definitely something I think would be a fun stream. But I always worry about playing games blind on stream because of the fact that if you get lost, you have to try and be sort of entertaining while also not knowing where the heck you're going and trying not to get frustrated. So it's definitely something to do for the future. I can definitely see myself doing that at some point. Just give her a little blush. It is too much blush. It's going into her eyes. Give her a little blush. Some additional freckles. Und it is perfecto. Perfect. Oh, that's so cute. She's like, yeah. I want to add some like little lines of like. Add like some confetti to it too. So it's just like. Perfect. Then just border. Boop, 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 boop. Perfecto mundo. That is lovely. And I think that's a good enough thing to end it on for tonight. I just wanted to do like a little bit of drawing because I couldn't really think of anything else to stream tonight. Well, it was a short one, but the art streams usually are a bit on the short side. Thank you for joining us as always. It's been nice to get some art out of my system again because I've been I've been working so much on the proof of concept, I kind of forget to actually draw my characters so people can sort of get to know them better. I've been really struggling with trying to balance all of it at some point, so I guess it'd be nice to have some art streams just as a way to sort of get that balance back into me. I haven't really set up so I can send us off for a raid tonight, because I think it was just, tonight's just been a bit like last second, slap an idea together and just have fun. So we don't really have anyone to raid tonight. For our next stream is going to be next Friday, because I'm going to be away on the Wednesday, so we won't be streaming next Friday. Or we won't be streaming until next Friday, and where we will be continuing the BDSP Nuzlocke. And potentially, hopefully, finishing it. And then next Sunday is going to be, as I said earlier, I'm going to be playing through Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo, through the Cowabunga Collection on Switch. So I'm going to be away from streams for the rest of the week. I hope you all enjoy yourselves. I hope you all have a lovely respective time zone, weeks, day, whatever it may be. And as always, take care, everyone. Bye-sies!